RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of The Rational Investor. This is Julian reporting in, not from Bangkok this time. I'm going to load the live stream up right here so I can look at what you guys are saying and I can talk to you. That's why we do this live. Let me make sure it's not playing through my phone. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Everything looks good here. Okay. So now I can see your comments. Hello, Lucas. Only Lucas is talking, but there's 10 people watching. I see you 10 people. Try to say hi if you can. All right. So Brian's away this week and next week. And as Chris mentioned to me before I started the show, it seems like most traders are off in the Hamptons this time of year. So Brian maybe is also off in the Hamptons as a professional, successful trader himself. He gets some time off while the rest of us have to keep working. Although I did get 3 days off. I enjoyed my 3 days in the Vietnam Hamptons. It's the discount version. Hello. Hello, Nibby. Hello, Mirka. Oh, new names. Kitchen and Craft. I haven't seen some of you before. Well, welcome. This is a show where I'm going to talk about what's going to happen over the next week, in my opinion. I'm also going to look at what I looked at last week and discussed and, give myself a little ego boost since I was correct with a lot of my comments. I'll show you guys that briefly. Yeah, I'm still in Vietnam, Mark. I'm going to be here for maybe another week. Mostly I'm here because Thailand came out with this new 5-year visa. And so I want to apply for I'm going to get the new 5-year visa. It's been something I've been waiting for a while. So I'm going to get it just to make life in Thailand 10 times easier. And that's it. Yeah, I'm in Hanoi. Just doing a couple things here. TRI might be hiring a virtual assistant from here, so I might even do some in-person interviews of some virtual assistants, that kind of stuff, while I'm waiting for the visa approval. Anyway, that's my personal life things. If you guys have any Vietnam questions, happy to answer that at the end of the stream. Till then, I think we should jump into talking about the markets. So today, unemployment came in basically normal. Retail sales came in positively. Core retail came in positively. So the market is doing exactly what I expected would happen here. If you see, I talked about last week. Let's go to the daily brief from last week. So this is where, so listen to this brief clip. Everyone expects 6,000. They're super crazy long. And then war breaks out. Some event happens. These lows and then reverse. Go up here. Like this. Okay. Right there. So you need to see that cross. And we need to see, we need to see this W out. If you get the W, then boom. That's your potential chaos move all the way up to 5,900. And that's the move I would like to see. I want to see this. I want to see boop, rejection. Okay, try again, reject. Actually, we would take out these lows and then reverse. Go up here, reject, come down, tag this again, do this, something like that. Play around here, squiggles, maybe go backwards in time, and then move up and tag up here. Maybe even tag 6,000. Okay, and then when everyone's super bullish, maybe we'll tag just here before 6,000. We won't even get to 6,000 because everyone will be waiting for 6,000. So instead of tagging 6,000, we go to just 5,900, which is a chaos level. Okay, and then that's when the real rug is pulled. You'll have massive divergence forming. Everyone's super bullish. Everyone expects 6,000. They're super crazy long. And then war breaks out. Some event happens to drive a decline that makes this decline look like a kid's party. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So, be prepared for a potential move like that, but understand that until we're on the other side of this RSI line, there is potential that we could just reverse and head lower. That's it. I am currently playing this on the long side because I do believe in this scenario, but I think that, wait 1 second here. 1 second. I do believe that, adjusting my lines. All right, so that was basically it about what I said regarding my expectations for the market over the past week. Yeah, I made it faster because I'm impatient myself. Hopefully it wasn't too fast. And if we look at the market and what has happened with the S&P, you can see here was 5,300. This was last week. So this was my trend line, which I was waiting for us to break out of. We sat at 5,300 for a while. We broke out and we moved higher. And now we're all the way up at this 5,500 level that I talked about. And now we're gonna be stuck here. This is the next resistance zone. And then the final move is going to come all the way up to here. That's basically what we're looking at. That's what I'm expecting now. But this is the next resistance level. So if you were long from down here, it wouldn't be a bad idea to take a little bit of profits. Take a little bit, because we're going to do this squiggle thing and then have that final move up. That's what I'm eyeing right now. If we look at these lower time frames, yeah, I don't see any bearishness here yet. I don't see anything to say that like this market has to stop moving up from this level. You do have a 7 on the 8 hour. Daily's nothing. Daily looks super strong. MACD went bullish. Switched to a bull. Sorry, English. And we broke out of this downtrend line. I mean, yeah, I don't know how to make this any more bullish than it already is. I can also redraw kind of our chaos levels we had, right? So it was, I created kind of a conservative one. I remember I always kind of try to err on the more conservative side. You can see we're hitting this 2.618 level right here. I would prefer that this 2.618 line up, and then that would put our 2.618 up here, and then our final 4.669 up here. But it's tough with this. It could be here, could be here, like that, or it even could be like this. That's a potential level. So if it could pause anywhere between this level where we are or here, another 100 points higher, and then we'd get that squiggle, and then we'd get the potential for that next move higher. So something like that. But I'm not a wizard, so I can't say exactly what's going to happen. We could claim that this is potentially a 5-wave series moving higher. Let me try to draw that for you guys. So Elliott wave, impulse wave series, where we've got wave 1, wave 2 pullback, and now this is the big 3 wave, wave 3. Normally a wave 3 likes to go to 1.618. I think we've already extended that. Let's look really quick. I think we did, because this is basically, that's what this is pretty much right here. So wave 3 can either go to a 1.618 or it can go to a 2.618. We might push all the way up to this 2.618. As long as it gets higher than that 1.618, it's 100% a wave 3. So what we're seeing is a wave 3 here, and depending on how far this wave 3 goes, and then the pullback of the wave 4, that'll give us the final target for wave 5. But if we want to hit all the way up here, then the next wave honestly has to go to this level. And then we get our long drawn out wave 4 pullback, which wave 4s often are. And then we can get our final 5th move, which would go up to here or even here. But if it's a 5th wave, normally 5th waves are so they would be a 1.31. So if that's our 5th wave would go up to this level up here, 1.618 or 1.38, 1.382. Don't quote me on this. I haven't used Elliott wave in a while, and sometimes I think Elliott wave is extremely dangerous to use. It's kind of a pseudoscience where it looks like magic when it works, but other times it can be just completely wrong. But this can help us chart a path of where the market potentially is going to go. Hot Rod asked, well, Mark, I'll tell you at the end of the stream kind of what I'm doing. It's not an LTR visa though. TD and Tom, the market indicators, and not seeing them on TradingView or in the trading lottery. Hot Rod, I'm not sure. I've had it for a very long time. This Truenomic TD sequential, I've just always had it, and it's never disappeared. I'm not sure why other people. I think something happened with TradingView where they banned it. I think I should be able to come up with some kind of code and share it, and you could probably apply it. And you asked about, yeah, TD is Tom the Mark, so that's the same. You're asking about the same indicator. Hopefully that helps. Okay, so that's the S&P. That's it. And why is it doing this? The answer is, well, look at this. Fear for crypto is at 29, and we had a 33 fear on the normal market. I mean, this was a massive amount of fear. So we had extreme fear here. No, that's stock price strength, put and calls. Where's the extreme fear? Like, where's the graph of fear over time? I don't know why it's not. I want to see the timeline here. Yeah, so we had extreme fear here, right? This was the most extreme fear since October 2023. And what happened in October 2023? Let's go to there. Wow, seems so long ago. Right here. October 2023, extreme fear. And look what happened after. Massive rally. Boom. I don't think we're going to get a rally that massive, but we are going to get a decent rally. So don't be surprised to see the S&P go up to potentially 6,000. That could happen. I'm still sitting in all my longs that I added all the way down here in this range at the beginning of August. Once we had this massive breakdown, I closed my shorts. I jumped into longs. I actually jumped into 3x long here. Closed it when we got to 5,300. I didn't know what was going to happen after that, so I just exited, as I said last week. This was an unclear level, and then I kind of went on my trip to Vietnam, so I stopped. I was trying not to trade too much or stress too much, so I just closed out those 3x longs, but I still have significant spot long positions in multiple different companies that I'm holding, waiting for this all-time high move to get everyone bullish again. I want basically for us to get this major crash that I'm looking for. I think our fear greed index needs to at least get back into the greed area or neutral. Neutral to greed is when I would start kind of like unloading long positions. I would look for that. I think you have to look at these things. They go hand in hand. Now, you cannot just look at like RSI or price structure or this or that. It really helps if you look at the sentiment and you can analyze the sentiment. That is going to give you an extra edge in trading this market when you say, okay, everyone's crapping their pants, everyone's freaking out, everyone's selling. Have these people that are freaking out been correct in the past? And if the answer is no, then maybe you should do the opposite of what they're doing. But if they have been correct in the past, then obviously, that changes things. But if they've been consistently wrong from your memory, and I know it's hard to remember those things, but if they have been wrong, then you know that you should do the opposite. So hopefully this serves as like a lesson for everyone watching, that when you get this kind of panic and all you see is constant headlines about the world falling apart, maybe that's the time to buy. Okay, so those are kind of my targets. If you guys have any questions on the S&P, I can go into more detail about it, but I don't really see. I don't really see. I feel like it's pretty clear about what's happening here. We can look at this. We can look at the options. What's max pain going into tomorrow? Where's my water? I actually can't move. If you guys could see where I'm sitting, I can't move or my mic is going to fall over. Because I got an Airbnb and I didn't realize that it doesn't have a desk. I'm changing tomorrow. I will change to a different one, but it's fine. Okay, so max pain is 54.50. We are currently at 55.30. So if they want to hit the max pain level, they do need to pull it back to this 54.50. Hi, Fed. Welcome. This 54.50 area here. So they don't always seem to care. When you get a lot of puts on the left-hand side and not too many calls on the right-hand side, that's when we often see the market push in the opposite direction of where the least calls are. So if the market was going to move higher, it would be this week and it would ignore this max pain area, because the number of calls in comparison to these number of puts it's way less. And that's when you see something like what we're seeing happen, where you just get a consistent like rally higher. Okay, so that is the S&P. Maybe we look at one or two stocks. Let's look at like Tesla. I have a decent sized position in Tesla because, as I've talked about multiple times, the Optimus robot. So Tesla had a big pullback to help people crap their pants. Filled all these gaps right here. Gap filled. Created a new gap here. Created a gap here that got filled. And now we're on the other side of this downtrend line. And the daily is pointing up. 30-minute, 60-minute, 4 hour. They all look very bullish. Daily is about to break out above its VIP line. I think it looks good. The weekly looks good. The weekly is still positive. We just have to get back on the other side of the trend line, and the sky is clear for a big move higher. My hope is that this huge W here actually completes, and we get this move all the way up, potentially like $700. A big breakout. You also could say this is like an ABCD here, right there, and maybe it's just a 500. Either way, it would still be a very impressive move for Tesla. If the Optimus robot comes out and it does well, that's what I think a lot of this is hedging. I don't know why. Sorry guys, I feel like I cannot speak today. I don't know why. Maybe I drank too much Vietnamese coffee, but I apologize if I like have a lisp or something, or I pronounce some words wrong. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. But yeah, Tesla. If Tesla can do well in the coming weeks and months, I can see it push a lot higher. However, if the market does not play nice, then obviously it's not going to do as well. So it doesn't necessarily matter what any individual big company is doing if the S&P ends up selling off. Just keep that in mind. NVIDIA, everyone's psyched about NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a perfect example. Like if the market's going up, NVIDIA is going up. I mean, or maybe it's if NVIDIA is going up, the market's going up. I don't really know who's wagging who. But you can see the reversal, but you can also see how this was a breakdown right here. This was a major breakdown. And I could see a push even above this and then a quick rejection. So something like that, creating that massive one last step of weekly divergence before everything rolls over. That's what I could see happening. Let's actually look at what NVIDIA's chaos target would be. See right here. Oops. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Let me check our OBS. Yeah, still good. I hit my mic. It would be like that. Tesla would go to 150. That is a potential move of 21%. And if we look how much, let's see if we can extrapolate this to the S&P. So if from August 8th to right now, Tesla's up 25%. Let's see how much the S&P is up. Where's my price range? All right. S&P is up 7.5. Okay, so Tesla is up about almost 4x what the S&P is, which means if it's got another 20% to go, then the S&P can go up around 5 to 6%. We'll say 5.5%. Okay, so that puts us, where does that put us? Around 58.50 would be the equivalent of Tesla's chaos level 150 target. And BFR, that's a BFRN right there, 150 for Tesla. I think that would definitely be a big number, a massive wall, where I could see people getting, exiting positions, and other people on the other side getting really excited. So I think I'm gonna put a line up here. Let's put this horizontal line as a potential market target. And we'll keep this here for Tesla or NVIDIA. I don't know why I keep calling it Tesla. And the reason I put NVIDIA is because NVIDIA is obviously a big, if NVIDIA doesn't go up, the rest of the market's not going to go up. And if NVIDIA does go up, then the rest of the market seems to kind of follow. That just seems to be the way it is. Okay. If you guys want to look at any other stocks, we can, but otherwise I'm going to jump into Bitcoin, crypto. Maybe we'll I can take a quick peek at gold. I know a lot of people like gold. Just take a quick peek at what's going on in the gold market. Yeah, it's just slowly rising higher, but do understand that if the market dumps, gold is going to dump too. Gold protects against inflation. It doesn't protect against a market crash. When the market crashes, people go to US dollars and treasury bonds. And speaking of, US dollar looks terrible here. This weekly chart. Big breakdown on the weekly chart. But we do have a 7. So conflicting info here in the US dollar. I could see us pulling back all the way down here to maybe 100, or maybe we bounce as the market crashes. Something like that wouldn't surprise me. So I wouldn't be too bullish on the US dollar here. TLT, I've talked about multiple times. We broke out of that massive downtrend, and we're kind of putting in a W here, right? So if we can W out on the monthly, can expect a fairly respectable move all the way up to 147. So if you want to potentially hedge the downside, TLT could work as a potential hedge. As you can see, it spiked as the market was dumping before, so that could work well. And you can see here, right, like that, right? So we bounce on the other side of this weekly downtrend line, and now we should come down and retest this as the market pushes higher, come down to like 93 or something, and then explode higher. That's kind of what I'm seeing. As I said, there's been a lot of structural damage done with the moves over the past week and a half, 2 weeks, and there's no way to just undo what happened. We can't just go back to complete bull mode. This is like, you could call it, I guess, a dead cat bounce, or it's just the last hurrah. That's kind of what I'm seeing. All right, so that's legacy markets. Let's look at what a lot of you guys really care about, which is Bitcoin. And I'm going to give my thoughts on what I think is happening with Bitcoin. I've talked about before that I think Bitcoin is in a massive bull flag. But if the rest of the market rolls over, Bitcoin's going to follow, and it'll go all the way down here, potentially 37,000. I don't see why that can't happen. It could even go to 30. It's going to be just a huge disaster. I mean, you can see if I pull up the S&P, right? So let's do this. Let's try to draw. Now, I'm not going to say like this is exactly what's going to happen, but it makes it easier to kind of draw like percentage equivalents. So if we say that on August 1st, the market dropped, between August 1st and the 5th, the market dropped 8.5%. Meanwhile, from right here, August 2nd to August 5th, Bitcoin dropped 25%. So 8%, 25%. We'll say it's like 3.5x. Very unscientific. So if the market drops, let's say we get a market pullback all the way down from, we'll just say the current level, all the way down here to 4,500. That's 18%. So for Bitcoin, that would be almost a 50% pullback, right? And that would bring you all the way down to that 30K area. Hopefully that explains how I kind of reach these targets, along with 78.6, 88.6 from this entire range that we have. That's just longer term concerns. This weekly chart has been bearish for a while, which is why we're just consolidating in this area. The only thing really holding this up is the fact that we're bullish on a monthly chart, which we did have a 7, 8, and 9 print. So that's causing the pause. You are still in an uptrend. But like I said, if legacy markets crash, Bitcoin is going down with the ship. It's just what happens. These bigger markets control what Bitcoin does. And the weekly has broken down. But we are in this wait, let me clean this up. This is such a mess. Hold on. Sorry. Let's get rid of a bunch of these lines. It is trying to W out. Let's make this a bit bigger. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to keep that. Hopefully it makes it clear that Bitcoin could potentially go to 100K if this uptrending, if this bull flag plays out. But I always like to give two scenarios, and the other scenario is that huge dump to 30K with the rest of the market crashing. Let me see something. Are you guys talking? If you guys have questions, ask questions. I will answer. I am monitoring the chat. The reason it's live is so you can ask me questions. But we do have 32 of you in here. Good to see you guys. All right, so short term, what is going to happen with Bitcoin? Well, To be honest, I'm not exactly sure. I don't have a magic ball here, and it is in a confusing area where it's just kind of consolidating, and that makes sense considering that you have a bearish weekly, a bullish monthly, and then a daily that's basically in no man's land. This is the worst time to trade on leverage. It's you're asking to get chopped up unless you can trade on this lower time frame in like a 1 hour time frame and do it well. For me, what I like to do in this period is I like to look at the different time frames and see where are the liquidation levels and what are they going to go after in the long run and in the short run. So if we go to like a 1 month chart, we can look at the liquidation levels here. And this is coinglass.com. This is free. Anyone can look at this. We can see 70K is sitting up here. Big liquidation level at 70K. Nothing really down below. If we go out 6 months, is there anything down below? Still not really, but we've got a huge amount up here at 75, up to 75K. Go out a year. Let's go out a year. Yeah. So you have a big one at 25. You have another one at 33. So if the market crashed, the level that Bitcoin wants to go to would be 25K. Like that's your level. Where would you want to start buying? Well, you'd want to start buying at 32K because it maybe doesn't hit that 25K. But this is where you would want to buy if we crashed. That would be the buy of the year. But on a shorter time frame, if you're trading like an hourly chart, you go to a 3-day, you go to the 12-hour, the 24-hour. So for example, a lot of liquidations at 62. We've also got liquidations down here at 56, but not as much. We've got a lot more up here, right? And then if we go to a 24-hour, so it took out, see how it took out all these 60K area liquidations, but it also has these down here at 57. Go to one more 12-hour, 60K. I could see us eating into the 60K up here, going even to the 61, and then coming down to eat up the 57s. Like that's kind of what could potentially happen. Bitcoin's just in a range, so it helps to look at these liquidation levels and just kind of trade based on those of where the key is predicting which way it's going to, who it wants to liquidate first. Does it want to liquidate people on the upside or does it want to liquidate people on the downside? That's really the only thing you need to get right. And that's where we can use technical analysis to kind of help us along with looking at legacy markets and stuff like that. Like if legacy markets are moving higher, then crypto markets are going to be pulled higher. And that's exactly what happened here. I do feel like crypto is being pulled higher, kicking and screaming for some reason, but that's what it seems like to me. You can see on this 15-minute chart, like we're basically mirroring legacy markets, but the 1 hour is hitting an 8 level, and we did already clear out a lot of this liquidation. We could get one more push and then a big pullback. Maybe you just drift higher with the rest of the market into the weekend, and then on the weekend you'll get that flush down here, because that's when Bitcoin can be really independent and it's not subject to legacy markets, and it can kind of have wild moves to liquidate people. Hopefully that makes sense. Like I know it's a little bit confusing and convoluted, but I guess in simplest terms what I could see is something like this, and then a little bit push higher into this area, maybe a push above 62 and then a dump, and then we take out this 57 into the weekend, and then we just kind of do this, and then I'm not really sure where it goes from there. I'll post updates on the site, but that's what I'm sort of seeing for Bitcoin over the next couple of days. I'm not really seeing any giant moves on the horizon, unfortunately. I'm watching altcoins, Solana, for example, also kind of in no man's land, but it looks like it's consolidating to break higher. But if Bitcoin doesn't move higher, I don't see how Solana would. You can see how the daily chart is basically dead in what I call the no man's land zone. If it can get on the other side of this trend line, we could move a lot higher, but I want to see Bitcoin move higher for Solana to then mirror that and also move higher. Things like Rune have been doing well. Consolidating, though, in this zone for a whole day, doing nothing. But it did have a nice bounce when things were max fear. And now we're hitting what is my historic heuristic trend line and 50-day moving average area that usually acts as a resistance or support. You can see how it acted as a resistance here, and then we finally broke down, and now it's acting as resistance. And if we can move higher from that, then we'll take off, and that's when things get crazy. Let me get rid of this because I think it's confusing. And you can see this is kind of my range that I drew here. Right, like that. So we tagged that 50% and rejected. If I was looking to short run, I would wait till up here, 78.6 level. But for now, we're kind of following this general path higher. Weekly is still, just like Bitcoin, is bearish, while daily is trying to cross into the bull territory, but it's still kind of in that no man's zone. And that's why you're getting a slight uptrend move higher, because the lower time frame is bullish, but you have your higher time frames pushing back against the bullishness. Until this weekly turns bullish, I don't really recommend going crazy with leverage, because you're still kind of in a fluctuating market where there is potential for a major range still, where things can, push up and then pull back and then push up and then pull back. You're not just going to get that straight up move, which is when you would make a lot of your gains. Just try to keep that in mind if you get the itch to trade leverage, that right now you're trading leverage in what is historically quote unquote hard mode. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, it's on these lower time frames is bull. So I'm long Rune. I'm actually long a lot of coins. But I'm keeping my eye on Bitcoin, and I'm keeping my eye on the total as well. Total. Let's see, total also hitting an 8. Total 3 is more important. You can see on a weekly chart, we're also kind of trying to put in that W here. Still bearish on MACD. Daily really hasn't crossed bullish yet. It's kind of the same. I feel like everything's the same that I'm looking at. If you guys didn't watch, make sure, if you're a TRI site member, by the way, make sure to watch Sjord's video on this gambling token. It was a really, really good video that you put together. This coin. So I'm not going to say much on this because I didn't do the in-depth fundamental analysis that Sjord did. But if you haven't watched the video on the winner protocol, I really, really suggest it, because if you do, and then you understand the value of a product that they're creating, you would see why this token is potentially a very good buy in this area, and maybe an even better buy in the future if we get that massive crash in the market. Just consider watching it. It's for TRI members only. If you're not a member, maybe sign up for a free trial, and you can find it in our videos section in the Discord, or you can find it on the site under the videos library. Really, really good in-depth view looking at why the winner protocol could be extremely successful in the future. Again, not investment advice, but something you might want to consider checking out. Sjord did a great job. Okay, so there's that. I just wanted to mention that. Do you guys want to look at any coins, or maybe we'll look at it in the after party? I think I don't have anything else I want to go over today. I think that's kind of it. Those were the major points I wanted to touch on. By the way, some of these coins are acting really weird. Like OP is just dumping for no reason lower. Usually before it was kind of following the rest of the market. While Rune is just kind of sitting here. Solana's pulling back slightly. Bitcoin Cash is moving up. Like everything's kind of all over the place. It's a bit of a weird market where you've got all these different altcoins doing their own thing. I don't think I've ever really seen something like this. So the conclusion is be careful, because the market is not acting quote unquote normally. All right, so that's all I've got. I think I'm going to call it here, and we'll do a quick after party. And if you guys have questions, I'll answer them there. We can check any coin you want, as always. If you're not a member, consider signing up. And that's about it. I will see you guys in the after party. And if not, I'll see you next week. Same time, probably a different place though. All right, bye everybody.